Mm,
Hello, hello.
I can hear you. Yeah. Can you hear me? Hello?
Oh, say something again?
Hello?
Yeah! No, it was me. Got it. Okay. Amazing. So this is it. This is what it's like
Nice.
to be a successful streamer.
Lamau.
Okay. Yeah. So we're live. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So I don't really know anything about you.
Yeah, me
uh,
neither.
Same, yeah, exactly. So you said you're doing e-commerce, you're a content creator, is that right?
Not really.
Not really.
Used
Okay.
to. Used to. I would describe myself more as an explorer
An
in life.
explorer, okay. In life,
You,
okay.
you know
I
the Greek philosopher Di- Diogenes.
mm-hmm.
So basically, he's a homeless guy. He chose to be homeless,
Mm-hmm.
and his life philosophy is. Oh, what was that?
Just added a screen.
Oh yeah.
For note taking. Yeah. So what's this life
So
philosophy?
so that philosopher really did not give a fuck. He's the definition of not giving a fuck. He
Okay.
would piss on people. People would call him dog, and he would piss on people, saying, "Yo, you call me dog, so why are you surprised I piss on you?" He
Wow.
is the founder and the definition of minimalism. He does not
Okay.
crave anything. He does not want any possession. All he wants is to live life within nature as it is. He's the origin
Mm.
of cynicism and minimalism.
Yeah.
So I really identify myself with him.
Uh-huh.
And so I would call myself the modern day Diogenes, the
Nice.
explorer. Diogenes, the explorer.
The explorer. I like that.
So every 6 months, I am a completely different person. I
Wow.
try
Wow.
different things. I was once an entrepreneur. Now I'm an employee. I used to cook every single day, but now I
Uh-huh.
don't cook at all. I used to cook every single day and not skipping one day. Now I only eat pizza and not skipping a day of pizza.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I was a gamer like 3 months ago, but
Uh-huh.
then I completely stopped, and then now I'm trying content creation because I really believe I have this kind of creative spirit in myself that I need to let out, or I start overthinking. I really think creating stops me from overthinking, kind of sort.
Mm-hmm. Wait, are you typing in the chat?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Well, someone is being super offensive.
Really?
um, yeah.
I can't even see the chat.
Oh, we can block them. That's cool. There we go.
Man, I can't see the chat. Where's the chat?
I don't know if I should show it.
SKCTR. What? What does it
Okay,
mean?
you're seeing it backwards. That's good. Nice.
Oh, did you open it for everyone?
No. Well, yeah,
Oh,
anyone can write in the comments and in the chat.
okay. Probably some trolls now.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so you were a gamer and now a what?
Now more like a content creator, content spirit.
A content
Yep.
spirit.
Not content spirit, but more like a free spirit. Do whatever
Uh-huh.
fuck I want. That's it.
Amazing. What does a typical day look like?
Oh, wake up, do whatever I want.
But
That's pretty much it.
what do you tendentially tend to want to do?
I wake up and really do whatever. Like for example, I used to wake up
Wait, do
and
you
I
wake
have
up
an
at a
idea.
regular time?
No, I don't. No, I don't. I wake up like usually at 11 or something.
Okay. Uh-huh.
I'm more like a night owl. I have
Hmm.
an idea and I do it. I I used to do comedy, but then I started to do vibe videos
What videos?
and
Vine.
a vibe,
Vibe. I don't know those.
those, those vibe videos. It's about sunset and stuff,
Okay.
scenery with music.
Uh-huh.
So I really want
You
to
mean for
test
YouTube?
out. Oh no, for reels and TikTok mainly.
Okay.
But
Hmm.
now I want to try out YouTube because I really like you cannot really pack a lot of depth in such a short period of video. I
Hmm.
think YouTube allows me more to go into depth, to be more thoughtful about my storytelling and have a
Hmm.
really meaningful story to tell with a longer video format.
Yeah. So what would what would those look like then? Do you already have some idea?
Oh yeah, I've like a bunch of video ideas. I wrote them down. Let me see. Living a purposeless life. What is it like to live a purposeless life? So I write down those title ideas.
Hmm.
Um,
Nice. So is that what your channel is gonna be about?
exactly. I name it. I don't want to talk about a lot of stuff that I plan to do. I usually only talk about them when I've done them, because there's
Yeah,
no point to talk about it when we haven't done it.
that's a good
But
principle. Yeah.
but mainly the channel name is like Diogenes the Explorer,
Hmm.
because that's who I am. That's what I want to talk about.
Amazing. And
Pretty
is there anything in particular you want to reach with this? Like when other people see it,
um,
what should
rich. You
that
mean?
like? What effect would you like it, or do you think it will have on them?
I think I would want people to really start living by watching my
Mm.
videos after that, because
Hmm.
the modern day society is really it, it has become machinery.
Yeah.
So the 9 to 5 thing came from the industrial revolution 100
Mm.
years ago,
Right. And
where
no one has questioned it since.
no one has questioned it.
I can't believe this.
We just consider it as a routine. Why do
Hmm.
we work from 9 to 5, 5 days a week? Why
Because
is
it's
that?
what you do.
Exactly, because it is what we as humans produce the most and not burning out. I think that's what I thought.
Hmm. Because working hours used to be way longer, right?
Exactly. I'm completely against that. For example,
Yeah.
I'm co- I'm right now. I'm more of the advocate for people who learn like really valuable skills
Hmm.
and then work 2 days a week with high pay. So your hour are worth
Yes.
more, but you work less and enjoy it. So for me, it's the opposite. I work
Hmm.
2 days and enjoy the 5 days. So I have 5 days weekend and 2 days work. This
Amazing.
is
What is?
this is the
Sorry.
go ahead.
Yeah. How did you manage to get to that point financially? What is your highly valuable skill?
Well, I actually I would call it destiny, to be honest. It
Uh-huh.
wasn't. So I truly believe every single struggle that comes to your life is a blessing,
Me too.
because nothing comes. comes out of comfort. Nothing comes out of contentment. Nothing really changes, to be honest, when you're comfortable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it was those struggling years before that really pushed me to really go out, go out of the world and hustle.
Mm-hmm.
And so a backstory is that I was a broke kid. I didn't know what to do. I still don't know what to do, right? That's why I call myself explorer.
Yeah.
A lifelong student and explorer.
Yeah. Like that.
I I think it was 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have many friends. I was broke. Had a bad relationship with my parents.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to go to France with to meet my friends, but I was so broke at the time because I damaged my laptop because I was a dumbass. So I had to buy another laptop with all my savings. At that time,
Uh-huh.
in my bank account, I had €4 and 20 cents, I think. Yeah,
Wow.
€4 85 cents. That's all I had.
Okay, if
I
it had
couldn't
been
even buy
20, it
a
would have been like
ticket. I didn't.
four.
I couldn't even buy a bus ticket to visit my friends in France, in Paris. And
Mm-hmm.
my parents was being a dick at the time and didn't even want to lend me money to buy a ticket. I was so furious. So I swear to myself I will never ever want to experience this ever again. So
Mm-hmm.
at that moment I started to do some research. I started really go out there, really take care of my financial situation. Even though
Mm-hmm.
I was a high school student,
Mm.
I'm always the guy who fought for freedom.
Yeah.
Really, I'm
Um,
a I'm a freedom seeker, right? I'm
yes.
a freedom seeker.
I'm beginning to see a pattern with this, and
Exactly.
people I really relate and identify to. Yeah.
I hate being enslaved to an idea, to a person, to a situation, whatever.
Would you say that freedom is your number one value?
Absolutely. It never changed.
Mm.
It it came through. I think because my parents were so strict and so forceful on me that it just developed this character in myself. And also I think it's also a genetic. The
Mm-hmm.
other day I was talking to my dad, right? He lives in Hong Kong, my real dad. My parents
Uh-huh.
got divorced. I came to Europe when I was 11. Came to Switzerland, lived there for 2 years, and then moved to
Oh.
Paris 2.5 years.
What year was that when you arrived?
2010,
Okay.
2010.
Nice.
So my real dad is in Hong Kong right now. He's
Mm.
working some normal
In
construction jobs,
Paris.
but
Oh.
and he and he told me that, did you remember like what you said when you were younger? I was no, completely forgot. What did I say? He said, when you were 3, people said, "Oh, you're so small. You look like a ant. You know those ant insects."
Mm-hmm.
And I said, even if I were an ant, I would be the head of the ant. So at that moment, I
Nice.
was like, maybe that spirit came from a very young age already, and
Uh-huh.
throughout the environment that I was experiencing, it got enhanced. It got even more developed throughout my teenage year,
Mm-hmm.
and this urge of wanting to be freedom to lead was always in me. That's what I believe.
Yeah. Do you see that in a spiritual way, like talking about a soul?
Absolutely not. Not a spiritual way. I'm not a quite a spiritual guy. I'm more a pragmatic guy.
Yeah.
Really pragmatic.
Mm.
If y- I don't, my philosophy is not. I don't believe in good or bad. I don't believe in the common standard moral
Mm-hmm.
standard of society. I utilize the utilitarian
Mm-hmm.
philosophy, which means if you ask me if does it bring me an advantage, if it's a yes, then I consider it as okay,
Mm-hmm.
as advantageous. I don't say something is good, I say something is advantageous, because at the end, it's we are selfish human beings, right? Although we want to care for each other, at the end, some part of us are still selfish because of the survival instinct.
Mhm.
So everything, like not everything, but most things, when I have to judge, when I have to base a decision on it, I always use this principle. Does that bring me
Mm.
happiness at the end? Yes or no?
Okay. Hmm.
Or does it bring me more advantage over my past self? Yes or no? And that helps me to really make decisions really quickly.
Are there any points when you think about others before yourself?
Absolutely. For the people I love, I always think about giving first. That's the first thought.
Mm.
Because giving unconditionally, giving value unconditionally, has proven to be a plus at the end, to be advantageous at the end.
Mhm. Okay, so in the end, even that is also utilitarian.
Selfish, exactly.
Mhm.
Selfish or utilitarian, you can see
And
it the same way.
then, what do you mean by unconditionally?
Well, I'm I have one really best friend, and usually when I can help him, I help him. When I have, like, I always compliment, always support without expecting anything. Even though from the start I didn't expect him to have anything or even give back anything.
Hmm.
And it turns out that always giving without expectation is the healthiest way to live,
Hmm.
in my experience.
So interesting.
Be-
So you believe in giving without expectations, but also utilitarianism.
I think those are the same thing.
Hmm.
It's like, if you the more you give, the more opportunities, the more good is gonna come back to you. And at the end you always win. That's how I see it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So in utilitarian sense, it's always advantageous to always give without expectation.
Hmm. Hmm. Wow, that's true. I mean, that's something that I've kind of just always known and experienced,
Yeah.
but yeah, I wouldn't present it in this from this angle of like, actually, it's all for me. I'd rather focus on the other side and say, I do this for everyone because I care about everyone else, and then
Yeah.
I can have the security that I know that I'm okay through that. Yeah.
I used to think that way too, but it always led me to disappointment, because when I know I do for someone else, and when they, like, the moment I start to think about someone else and not about myself, I will always get disappointed, because
Hmm.
my because that's kind of loud.
Yeah.
Where
Sorry.
do you live actually? Where do you live actually? Every 3 minutes.
I'm at someone else's place right now by Damtor. Oh,
Mm.
you're actually in Hamburg, right?
Hmm.
Okay, we haven't
Yeah.
gotten to that part of your origin story yet. But okay,
So is
so
it like kind of interview about me, or is this like a conversation between you and me? Should I ask you questions too, or?
yeah, you can feel free. I mean, if this is going to be for my podcast, which wasn't necessarily the case, then it tends to be more of an interview, but I also want it to flow. So yeah,
Cool.
yeah. So feel free to ask.
So just don't want it to be too one-sided, only about me,
Okay.
because
I
I'm
mean,
pretty sure.
yeah. If people who follow me are watching this, then they're more interested in the guest, I would assume.
All right, so then let's do this. Let's do that, and
Yeah. Just saying, like, don't feel like you're not allowed to ask. Of course, yeah.
cool.
Okay. So yeah, wanna. Okay. So what was the finishing point? Giving always gives back to you, and then focusing on the others just disappointed you.
Yeah, it's always, it seems like if you think about giving for others, y-
Hmm.
your happiness is
Hmm.
directly dependent on other people's action, and that I don't like it.
That's very
Everything I
important.
do is for me, myself, and I. It
Hmm.
also benefits other people, but myself first. because as long as because if I am happy, everyone around me will feel happier because the
True.
energy emits, right?
Mm-hmm.
Only when you can take care of yourself internally, be happy, you can spread that energy further.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
But okay, one more point. You said you're not at all spiritual, so how do you define energy? Super interesting to me.
Oh, I say energy not in a spiritual way. I say energy just in general way. Like if I'm happy, if I smile all the time because I'm genuinely happy, you feel that, you see that. That's the energy.
Ah, okay. So basically,
Not
mirror
in
neurons.
exactly from
Okay.
appearance. The
Yeah.
energy, that the vibe. You can feel
Uh-huh.
it.
The the biological or hormonal energy. Okay. Nice. Okay, and then um, how has this? Hmm, how does this show up in your relationships? How do you approach relationships?
The same rule. Always start giving first without expectation. And
Mhm.
also trust first unless there's a reason not to.
Okay, but if you go around life as a utilitarian, then
Yeah.
when do you have enough reason to start giving to someone?
Oh, always. Until I have the reason not to.
Okay, interesting. Yeah.
Start out always by giving, and at the end no one can manipulate you or use you if you if you're not if you're giving by yourself. Like I give unconditionally,
Hmm.
but no one's using me to get any value because I do it for myself.
Hmm.
So it's a mindset to always um it's always positive for everybody. The
Yeah.
other person gets value and you get the fulfillment
Hmm.
of giving.
Which we actually do all crave. I also read about this, like the feeling of indebtedness and the feeling of wanting to have this nice feeling of being nice. It's all a cycle. Yeah.
You know, when you have so much time to think about things, it's really easy to
Hmm.
overthink. And
Tell me
thought
about
about
it.
I thought about a lot about happiness. Like, what's the concept? I
Hmm.
s- I feel like a lot of people are autopiloting life.
Mm.
So did I, right? It's like the routine, wake up, oh, I have this job, I do it, discipline. But rarely we have the time to really do nothing and
Hmm.
think.
Yeah.
Think about, does it make sense what I'm
Hmm.
doing right now? Like wake up and look around and say, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Well, I had that moment at some point. I was like, wait a second. It's not right. Why am I doing this, by the way? you know?
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
And then you really start questioning the meaning of happiness. Like, what is that?
Hmm.
Like there are so many people saying money doesn't buy happiness. Well, poverty doesn't buy shit. So it's not happiness is not something tangible, right? It's not
No.
something that you can acquire with external validation, external stuff.
Mm.
Then I started dig down like what is it then happiness? Sometimes we confuse pleasure with happiness too, leisure and pleasure and
Hmm.
lust. And these are not happiness. What is happiness? So I spend a lot of time watching YouTube videos, listening to podcasts, really
Mm.
finding the true meaning of happiness because no one taught us what is happiness. You
Yeah, I
live
mean,
your life
do you think there is one true meaning, or is it something everyone has to find out for themselves?
a little bit of both. I think we
Hmm.
humans we share the same genome.
Hmm.
We are at a certain level. Our happiness comes from the same root. That's how a gene reacts when something happens, and under that I would categorize as giving as part of our common source of happiness. Like no human on earth becomes unhappy by giving. No human.
Are you
Like by
sure?
helping or giving. I'm not talking about giving to everybody. I'm talking about giving value, helping each other when they can.
Hmm.
No one becomes unhappy by helping others. We get
Hmm.
that sense of fulfillment and joy by helping the one next to us. That's how, from a biology.
I mean, have you really met people with different types of empathy though, like sociopaths or narcissists?
Oh, these are like exception in the genome. I'm talking about people who
Ah, okay.
the most of us, right? We can't talk
Hmm.
about a minority. Usually, there are always exceptions in
Okay.
anything.
Yeah.
Sociopath was, I think they are like less than 5% in our population.
It's hard to
So
know,
we
but
can,
yeah, something like that.
yeah, it's hard to know, but I
I think there are
truly
a lot more.
believe, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the tricky part is to spot them as well.
And it's also a spectrum. So when do you
True.
consider them to be one? But yeah. Anyway.
It's a normal curve.
Yeah.
So
Probably.
we define happiness, right? And I really struggle to find that. Till now, I'm still searching to complete the formula.
Hmm.
I really do think it's not a black and white formula. I really start to think it's about the yin yang. It's about the balance. It's a constant balance between your duty, your purpose, and your happiness. One does
Hmm.
not one cannot outweigh the other.
Wait, what were those things? Three things again?
Yeah, purpose and
Hmm.
happiness. Those are for me different things.
Yeah.
Purpose is not necessarily happiness, not what brings you happiness, right?
No.
But we need purpose in order to feel fulfilled.
Yeah. That's so great. It's actually like all of the same points, thoughts, or conclusions that my friend and co-founder came to in our this video we're working on called "The Purpose of Life." That's like the first thing we're going to release. But yeah, little plug there.
I'll be
But
happy
for
to
me, it was
see it,
just also
bro.
like
That
yeah, it's just the
that
same
click.
things coming up again, but from a different angle. I love that.
Yeah, I would love to participate in the
Yeah,
future.
sure. I could see you in like so many of the things I'm doing. Can definitely talk about all of them. Yeah.
Yes. So I define the happiness for me right now is really what makes you happy now. Because tomorrow's not guaranteed.
Hmm.
But I'm not saying jump off the bridge type of happiness. I'm talking about prepare for the worst and
Hmm.
hope for the best and be happy
Yes,
now.
that's
I don't,
also
I
very
don't
typical
think
in England.
I don't think
Oops.
people realize how lucky we are to be alive.
Hmm.
I think that people take life for too granted. They think that it's a natural thing to occur. It's not.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, when you look at the observable universe and we haven't found anything else, then yeah, it seems pretty special.
Yeah.
Wait, you just said something really good. What's that? I was like half listening, half typing. Uh, can you backtrack a bit before?
Wait, if you have to type, just tell me. I can like take a pause. You can write it down.
Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah,
No
no, it's
problem.
fine. It was just for updating the caption. Um, yeah. Anyway, wow. And so you've said that you watch a lot of YouTube videos, listen to a lot of podcasts. Is there anything else that people could learn from you to become this smart or this thoughtful?
I don't encourage anybody to be like me or to like learn from me in any way. I'm just a messenger to here to spread the experience I have and what I
Hmm.
believe is right for me. I never think I'm right.
Hmm.
I just like Gary Vee said, I never think I'm right. I'm just communicating my observations in my life
Mm.
that might be the same, that might apply to your life as well.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So
take take so your audience should take anything valuable with them that they think that might apply to their situation.
great. That's exactly the spirit of this. So, what would you say about learning?
Learning in general,
Mhm.
where do I start?
Good point.
Where do I start? I don't know. You tell me. Where should I start?
Mm, yeah, good point. What questions drive you to keep learning? What are like big things that make you want to open up a book or research something? Because do you know Jim Quick?
Jim Quick? No.
He's like this learning guru, and he said something I found really helpful from all of his stuff was that you you don't learn by pushing information into your minds. You have to have a question inside that will pull the information in. So if you find the right questions, then you'll be able to learn everything about that.
I think formulating the right question is even more important than finding the right answer.
Exactly. And I mean, this is like also a very big thing in personal development in general. Things like coaching or whatever is just all about finding the right question. So,
Exactly.
what would you say about that, just from your life experience?
It's kind of broad.
Hmm. On
Maybe
purpose.
formulate maybe formulate your question a little more
Yeah.
specific.
I mean, do you have any overarching questions that come to mind,
Right now?
or from your life?
Not
Like
really.
for example, for me, what one has probably always there is just how can I help the most, and just like this kind of driving thought.
Oh, no, I don't think about it at all, to be honest.
Hmm.
I My sole purpose right now is to explore as many things as possible
Hmm. And how do you find the next thing to explore? What guides your curiosity?
by doing nothing.
By doing nothing. That's really good. Yeah.
Ideas, our minds are so powerful. Letting it run free, sometimes ideas comes like that
Yeah.
by walking outside. Then you start think, what if you see people skateboarding? What if I just get a skateboard and learn how to skate right now?
Yeah.
That would be a new thing.
Nice.
I always used to cook every day. Didn't skip one day.
Hmm.
But what if I stop cooking right today and only eat pizza for a year?
For a year. Oh my god.
This is exploring is about searching and going in the unknown.
Yeah. Ah,
It's
high
so
five.
scary.
High five. Yeah.
It's so scary. You
This.
know, s- after graduating, I was forced to find a job or Ausbildung, duales Studium in Germany, as we call them.
Hmm.
It's a combination, for those who don't know, it's a combination between apprenticeship and study. So the company basically funnel and funds your study and your apprenticeship at the same time. So you get a salary for you to learn and work there and hopefully become the worker in the future. I started that, did 6 months, learned a lot of misery, a lot of struggles, but that is what brought me the most lessons, to be honest.
Hmm.
And then I started one day of uni, 6 hours. I walk in the class. 6 hours later, the class wasn't even finished. I walked straight out. And I was like,
You
bye.
quit.
Yeah,
Nice.
I quit. I quit.
Yeah.
I quit. And it was a scary jump.
Hmm.
I even have a video of myself saying that I quit. Maybe we
Hmm.
can pop that somewhere. But
Amazing. Yeah.
But I was literally shaking because the manager didn't even have the formula for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't even have like the paperwork because no one in history of the 40 years of the company have ever quit as a dual student, you
Why
know.
does that
So
not surprise me? Yeah,
so apparently I was the first one. I don't know. And people say, you know, they would call this decision dumb,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because you got a
I
chance to
mean,
do
yeah.
great job.
The second you start challenging stuff and making crazy decisions, you're gonna get called all sorts. It's just the way
Exactly.
it is. And
Straight,
so,
good job, good opportunity. You make money. Your future is secured,
mhm.
or whatever the fuck that means to other people. Secured. So why would you quit? Nobody understood.
Mhm.
I don't feel myself to explain either because in reality, no one gives a fuck.
You
That's
know
another
what?
point I want to get.
That's Yeah, that's a big learning I wish I'd had much earlier. I feel like I spent maybe 60% of my time explaining myself, where I could
Yeah.
have just been doing. Mhm.
That's a point I want to get is that no one really gives a fuck about us. Nobody. So do whatever the F we want. People are too
Yeah,
busy worrying about themselves. I swear. I see people on Instagram making private Instagram accounts. I'm like, what's the point? Why do we
yeah.
have a main account and why do we have a private account?
Hmm.
Those and they s- and usually the explanation will be, yeah, I don't want people to see myself. I mean, those who really care, they watch your stuff. Those who don't care about you, they don't watch your stuff.
Yeah,
99% of followers on Instagram, you don't
don't watch
even see them in
it.
life.
Exactly.
You don't even know them. You don't have anything to do with them. So
Hmm.
why the fuck do you care?
Yeah, I posted this in my story. I have 1,000 and a little over.
Hmm?
I think there's one viewer. I don't even know if that's real. Who cares?
Nobody cares. So, like, even if you go on public, you you pull out a camera and you shout, you scream. For 3 seconds, people are gonna look at you and say, "Who's this idiot?" After that, nobody cares, right? They
Yeah,
keep doing this thing.
yeah.
So it boggles my mind, like how our brain is so conditioned to always thinking about what other people think of us. I
Hmm.
think part of that comes from evolution as well.
Yeah,
We live in
so true.
communities, right?
Yeah, because if you're left out of the community, you could have
Yeah.
died.
If you're weird, nobody likes you, right?
Hmm.
That's the fear that's like embedded in our genes.
Hmm.
And I truly believe that if we can overcome that, a lot of amazing things happen.
Hmm.
A
Would you
lot.
say would you say that all the decisions you make are in order to overcome fear, like on purpose specifically, or it's just a side effect?
Fear is natural occurrence, but I decide to ignore it
Hmm.
because when you believe, when you truly believe that the scenario is gonna be advantageous, way more advantageous and beneficial than the fear you're fearing that you're
Hmm.
experiencing, you go for it. It's like jumping from water, right? I never
Hmm.
jump from 10 meters because it's so scary. Have you been on top?
Yeah, yeah, it's
You,
terrifying.
you, you look down, it's not 10 meters, it's 20 or 30, 50 meters because the pool, you can see through the pool. So it's
Yeah.
so scary.
Hmm.
But when I took that jump, I realized that it was all in my mind
Hmm.
because
Well,
you
you
know
could
that, not,
you could land wrong, and then it's water is like a solid surface.
but you're not gonna die, right? You're not gonna die.
I don't know.
I don't think you die
Is it
from 10
there?
meters jumping in the water.
Okay, maybe
You
not.
maybe get like some red surface areas or
Break an
a skin
extremity.
burn. Yeah, but really, if you jump like that, nothing is gonna happen.
True.
I think people should really say fuck off to a lot more things. No,
Yeah.
like honestly,
Hmm.
like right now, a lot of people are calling TikTok names, right?
Yeah. Wow. Sorry. Right.
Could you close the window?
Because it's too hot.
Ah, it's too hot. Yeah.
But anyway, so TikTok, yeah.
Yeah, they calling TikTok names like it's cringe, this is cringe, this that is cringe. I mean, who are you to say it's cringe?
Yeah,
If you
maybe
find it
you're cringe.
cringe, if you find it cringe, you're not in my target audience. You're not in my market, right?
Yeah.
There's a market for everything. If a cringe ass video is having 300 million views, it has a market.
Hmm.
Whether you find it cringe or not. If you find it cringe, you're not in the market. You're not in the demographic.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it
Yeah.
more. I think of everything really in a business way,
Okay.
neutral, rather than judging from judgment. Right? I
Yeah.
never think. I never judge. I I
Nice.
judge a lot. I avoid them because judging does not bring any advantages.
Right.
Advantages. I mean, sorry.
Hmm.
Judging is solely useless. It's
Yeah.
ego feeding. When you judge someone, somehow your brain gets dopamine because you feel more powerful. You
Hmm.
feel you are more, you're
Relevant.
over. You're not like them. I'm not
Yeah.
like those
Yeah.
TikTok dancer because I'm better than that. The
Hmm.
moment you judge, you lost
Yeah.
because it does not bring you anything
So true.
except boosting your ego, right? So I see it as that way. Like, do what the fuck you want.
Yeah, but not even
People,
that, because if you're in the habit of judging, that means you're also in the habit of comparing. And then for every boost you get, you're going to get a comparison the other way around that's going to bring you back down.
it's a never-ending cycle.
Yeah. Um, do you ever feel bored?
Never.
I thought so.
I think in this day and age, we have so much entertainment options, so much abundance of everything that you can never get bored.
But don't you think maybe this was always the case?
I truly believe people, um, I think we always had to struggle for survival. So I don't think any of us get bored. Those who get
Hmm.
bored, I think getting bored is a good thing. I
Yeah.
think getting bored is actually a flex
Yeah. True.
because
It means
think
I
about
have
it.
all this time to think.
You have all this time and resources to do nothing and be bored.
Yeah,
Why not see that as a gift? I see that
it
as a
is.
gift.
Yeah. And also, like you said, thinking about nothing just gives you these ideas, right? For me, also, I mean,
Exactly.
if you have to sit there somewhere, um, yeah, the mind, as you said, is so powerful. I also could never
E-
really empathize with getting bored. Maybe sympathize, but not empathize.
Especially when you are a creative mind. Your
Hmm.
brain just runs like a wild horse
Yeah, and it could even be
24/7.
actually a bad thing sometimes. But yeah, it's a side of the spectrum that I would prefer.
I mean, those who create, for me at least, creation is more like an outlet, a
Hmm.
way to free my thoughts, package my thought in an entertaining way to deliver it to the world, to the market, and this way I can get rid of my thoughts. It's
Hmm.
like I would say package my garbage thoughts into beautiful, nice packages and send it out to the world.
Yeah, yeah.
In a way, I do it for myself.
It's
In
almost a
a way, I
necessity.
make myself feel more free by letting it out.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not even about creating content so that I can make this amount of money to do that because it's a thing to do.
yeah,
It's always for me.
yeah, yeah. That's the best way to create. Sorry, I'm gonna have to take a quick toilet break, and then we also
Yeah, same,
should
same.
wrap up. Maybe you can think about how to wrap it up.
All right.
Okay, dokes. Oh, what did I do? Messed this up. Okay. And your name is Sam, right? At the end of the call.
It's my nickname. It's my
Your nickname.
nickname.
Okay.
But that's
Um,
fine. You can call me Diogenes as well if you wanted to.
nice. Did I spell it
Diogenes
right, by the way?
the
Diogenes?
yeah, yeah,
With
yeah.
an E. Yeah.
Diogenes the Explorer. That would be the complete
Explorer.
name. The villain
Cool.
story.
Um, do you want to plug also any platforms, pages, projects to get out in the world?
Sorry again?
Do you want to plug any platforms or projects you want to put out in the world for whoever sees this?
Oh, not
Where can
really.
people find you?
Oh, on Instagram. It's called Helium Dioxide.
Ah, yeah, nice. Find this modern Diogenes on Instagram. Is it all together or with underscore?
Underscore. Helium underscore dioxide. You have my Instagram, so you know.
There we go. Now it's a banner. Okay. One of my kind of borrowed, a little bit adjusted, big closing questions is, if you could magically make any one change in the world, what would it be?
Make anyone to change?
Any single change to the whole world?
To a person or to the world?
The world.
One change I would change in a world to
Yeah.
damn. Better education system.
Mm. What would that look like?
Exactly the opposite of our modern days education system.
Yeah.
It's a pretty quick way to sum it up. We need more leaders. What I usually see company failing, it's not because of products, not because the employee. It was basically never about the employees, but usually the the fatal mistakes always come from the decision makers, the leaders, the guys on the top. Most problems that you see in the world, the conflicts and all these scandals, they all come from few selected elite people on the top that made those decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So if they are not taught how to lead correctly to benefit our society in the whole,
Mm-hmm.
it could go wrong really quickly. It doesn't
Okay.
matter how many good people they are. You just need one bad leaders to ruin the entire community, nation, union,
Yeah.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You can pretty much see this in history right now and in the future as well.
Mm-hmm.
Leadership is a really undervalued skill. It's not taught in schools. I don't know why. It's not taught in anywhere. I don't know why.
Yeah.
We maybe the conspiracy theory is correct. They want to control most people. I don't know, but I don't see any way by teaching leadership skills that and give people the freedom to think
Mm-hmm.
that is a bad thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. True.
Like look at Greek,
I mean,
ancient
even
Greek.
even if you have, even if you want to make sure you have worker bees, why not smarter worker bees, right?
Also, I'm a truly believer in collaboration over competition.
Mm-hmm.
Competition is good, don't get me wrong,
And infinite
but too
games
much
as well.
right,
It's
infinite
not zero
games,
sum.
Simon Sinek.
Mm-hmm.
It's competition, too much competition is not beneficial to society, to humans.
It's like a sweet spot, right?
collaboration a lot more.
Hmm. Nice. Okay.
Look at
Um,
Asia. Asia is the product of competition going way too on steroids. One thing is it's great, provides a great products, great innovation. We are speeding up the development process, but at what cost?
mhm,
What's the goal of all of this? What's the
mhm,
goal of always produce more to be always productive? Why do humans need to always be productive?
mhm.
Like, in what world? Who defined that we have to be productive all the time?
Yeah.
I I encourage people to stop for a moment and question about the things they do, if it makes sense,
Mhm.
if they are happy,
Amazing.
and if what you do makes sense to you.
Yeah.
Really take time to think about it, because time flies by. If you don't stop, look around you, and ask yourself why do you do the things you do?
Yeah.
Sooner or later, you will wake up and you're 80 years old.
Hmm. Exactly.
That's what
What?
I fear the most, and that's the last thing I want to give out to the world.
Hmm. Hmm. What are you most excited about in the next 3 weeks?
I'm always excited about life in general now,
Hmm.
not particular. I don't know what I'm excited about because I don't know what I'm gonna explore tomorrow.
Hmm.
Every single day is a surprise to me.
Amazing.
I wake
Think.
up, an idea comes. Maybe I want to do a road trip. I did. I
Yeah.
oh,
Wait.
funny story. A
Hmm.
funny
Go
story.
ahead.
Last year, a friend invited me to play table tennis in Central Park in Hamburg. It was great weather, so
Hmm.
he brought a friend. We played, and his friends were always like using a smartphone. It's always on his phone. I was like, let's socialize, bro. Like, why are you always on your phone?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm booking flights. And I said, what flights? Oh yeah, a good buddy of mine. He's been working here in Hamburg for 5 years. Hasn't been on holiday for 5 years. So I want to book a flight somewhere. So what I did is I I I gave him some tips, right? I gave him a lot of tips on how to search cheaper tickets, use incognito mode, use VPN so they don't overcharge you. Basically, giving value without expectation, right?
Hmm.
And he asked me, "Yo, do you want to come?" I was like, "Oh yeah, cool." Well, then next thing you know, next week we are in Bulgaria for 7 days. It was the best time of our lives.
Amazing. Hey, once again, can you give advice to people who want to live that lifestyle? How to organize work? How do you do that? How do you have that freedom and still have money?
People think that to live like this, you need a lot of money. That's the biggest misconception I've
Yeah.
ever heard.
No, but your work, how is it so flexible? Because you have some work,
I
right?
would, well, I would ask people, do they know how why birds survived the Holocaust, where the rest of dinosaurs didn't make it? I,
Hmm.
I I really asked myself this question for a long time. I was like,
Hmm.
why did birds survive all these disasters? Like our birds are the living modern day dinosaurs, right? They are the
Hmm.
survivors of those events, um, cataclysmic events. So I wonder, okay, they can fly. So they need little to no energy to fly anywhere they want. They are small. They don't eat much. They don't need much. And they basically live on a minimum food source. So if we
Hmm.
translate that to a modern day society, the ability to fly will means a skill that's gonna pay you a high dollar per hour, and living below your means. Eat like not having big bodies like a T-Rex will save you a lot of energy. A
Hmm.
T-Rex needs to eat a lot to survive.
Hmm.
But a bird, a seagull, he he just need one meal to survive for 3 days.
Yeah.
So this is the analogy I would give it to people.
Amazing.
Look at
Yeah.
birds and look at the nature, and see how they survive, see how
Hmm.
they. I always look at birds as my symbol.
Amazing.
They are the freest beings I've ever seen.
Yeah. Oh, oh my God, I'm so positively surprised. I mean, I kind of knew already that this would be a great conversation, but still, just went so much deeper and more abstract than I thought. Mm. We didn't even talk about e-commerce. Maybe
So
next time.
let's start.
I'm afraid I have to go now.
Unless,
Yeah.
all right,
I feel like maybe we would need a whole other hour if we open up more topics.
for sure. If you wanted to make it a real thing that people are interested in, I would also suggest to pick some really interesting topics that interest us
Yeah,
and
let's
the
do
gen
this.
and the general public.
Hmm. Have any
So we
thoughts for
find a
next time?
mid. So if we find a middle ground, and then at the same time, it's a win-win, right? We talk about the
Yeah.
things we love and
Mm.
that people search for.
Okay. Do you have any of those off the top of your head?
Mm, well, generally being happy, right? This is the I see it. I see our podcast as a service,
Hmm.
as a solution to an existing problem.
Hmm.
So my mind is always like thinking a business way. I don't know why, but it's how
Yeah.
it is. Like we talk about as a problem, and we give
Hmm.
solutions to the
Yeah.
existing problem. What are the problems in our modern world, right? We are in constant pursuit of something, of happiness, of meaning,
Hmm.
because we always in this autopilot mode. We've lost the sense of what really feeling happy really means, because that's not natural to our bodies. I
Hmm.
think that would be an interesting topic, or about how to live life with the least as possible, how to live the life I live and be
Yeah.
happy at the same
Exactly.
time.
Then maybe you will reveal your more concrete tips on your secret work.
I could.
How to live more like. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm now super in the habit of calling you Samburg because I got you from FAMburg. You have a new nickname. Okay. Well, look at that. We already have 2 or 3 more conversations done. Amazing. Thank you so much.
No problem, man.
And then I guess we'll see you in the next one.
Do you have this everything recorded?
Yeah,
Oh, could you send me
everything.
like a copy of?
Definitely. Yeah.
Maybe I could share to my audience too. So the things I
Hmm.
talk about. That'd
Please
be
do.
great.
Yeah.
All right. Peace
Okay,
out,
then
man.
we'll write for the next one. Bye bye.
Thank you for the invite. Bye bye.
Of course. Thank you.